Are your brakes dragging? That's today's topic. Thanks for tuning in to the TrailerSmith. We're going to cover some things to look for, how to know if your brakes are dragging, some potential causes of that, things that we see every day. So we're going to jump right into it, show you maybe 3 or 4 different scenarios just to keep you from having brake drag and to keep you from overheating. So let's just get right to it. So what prompted this video, we had a unit come in that had pretty new brakes on it. It had a wiring issue. It caused the brakes to drag on there. We corrected it, so I saved those parts off. I'm gonna explain about that. This is a pretty rare instance, but we do see it occasionally, but we'll show that towards the end of the video. The first thing I'm gonna cover is just your normal brake drag. And what is brake drag? Some would say that brake drag is any contact in between the shoe and the drum, and that's just not the case. You can have some minimal contact in there when you do a proper brake adjustment. If you don't know how to do a proper brake adjustment, check out our brake adjustment video. We'll leave that in the description below. You will hear just a little bit of contact, but that's not necessarily drag. Drag is going to be something that either the magnet is dragging and causing the brakes to expand, or the brakes are adjusted too tight, or you have some foreign debris in there and it's going to cause excessive heating from the dragging going down the highway. Some of these scenarios, again, are pretty common. We see them a lot. Some are very rare, but they all can happen to you. We've had several reach out that are restoring or refurbishing their old trailers. Maybe they've set for a while and the brakes haven't worked. You've got all your wiring replaced, all your rat chewed wire out. You got them ready to roll. You've put brakes on for the first time maybe in years, and what can happen is that can actually cause you issue. This first scenario here, this would relate to that. So your brakes weren't working before, the brakes look good, but now we've got power going to them, but now I've caused a secondary issue because my brakes are dragging and overheating when I'm not applying any brakes going down the road. So we're going to take a look at this drum and this brake assembly. We'll look at the brake assembly first. As you can see, there's a lot of pad or a lot of shoe left on it. It's plenty thick enough. The magnet does have some wear on it, but it's not awful. It works, it does energize correctly. But if the thing that you'll notice the most is on all the unpainted surfaces, the rust that's got on there. Again, that is not uncommon, even in our area. It's a humid area, but we're not in a coastal climate by no means. But it does have some rust. And the rust and the corrosion on this is the common factor. The first thing, the adjuster has some rust on it. It could make it hard to adjust. If it's auto adjusting brakes, it's for sure going to make it hard, if not impossible to adjust. But with manual adjust like this, if that has a lot of corrosion, it's going to be hard to make your brake adjustment. What happened on this one, the brakes had not been working. It's been setting for a long time. Brakes are energized now. They work correctly when applied, but there's so much rust in here. When the brakes work, when they spread out, it's pretty tight. When they spread out, it's not returning back to the non-braking position. So it's pushing out against the drums. The magnet is not being energized, but the return springs are not strong enough due to some of the rust to pull the shoes back in to keep it from having excessive heating on the brake drum. This is very common. A new brake assembly, you would likely not have this issue unless, maybe there's something wrong with it. But if you're refurbishing those old trailers, if you're watching our videos or somebody else's and say, hey, I need to check my brakes, beware. Just because your brakes weren't working before and you've got them working now doesn't mean that you can't cause yourself some issue. The best way to check this is if they don't move freely, you have 2 options. You can disassemble all this, clean it up, clean the rust off of it, put some lubrication up in these areas, like with just some white lithium grease. You can put some lubrication underneath the magnet arm. That's really just to prevent squeaking more than anything. But I'm going to tell you, if you have to do a full disassembly of this, clean it up, put new springs in it, this is a 3,500 pound setup. It's going to be more cost effective and probably safer for you just to go ahead and buy a new brake assembly. Just install that. Depending on what part of the country you're in and what brand you're buying, the brake assemblies are not awful. Even a name brand is affordable in most cases, unless they're just selling them at full pop retail. But this could cause you some issues. Another area to look at when we do a check, these brakes in the newer days, we bond them. Back in the old days, things had rivets in them, whether it be automotive or trailer related, but these have an adhesive. So these are bonded brake shoe to the metal surface, and what can happen, these have been setting for a while, the bond on there can lose its adhesion and can come off. So we check these. We'll take a small screwdriver and just barely push on them, not enough to break it, just to see if they're loose. Because what can happen if they haven't been working, you refurbish that trailer and now it's working, this actual shoe here will come loose, whether it be front or back, and it will slide down the drum and it will try to jam itself in between the opposite shoe and will cause brake drag, if not brake lockup. And when that happens, it's just going to lock up. It could flat spot your tire, but if it doesn't do a complete lockup that you're not aware of while you're pulling it, it can just cause some heavy drag on there, which is going to overheat the drum, which is going to overheat the grease and potentially cause a fire and or loss of hub. The other place that is super common, and honestly, we see this more in the winter time here, when we do get winter here than we do in the summer, is lubrication, grease, and gunk that contact between the magnet surface where it rides on the drum and the magnet itself. I've got an example down here on a larger trailer we're going to show you on it, then I'm going to explain to you what happens on that. So we're going to reposition the camera down low and see if we can get a shot of this one. So here we have a great example of lubrication contamination on the brake magnet along with the shoes. This is an antique Alco axle. These axles haven't been produced in a while, but there's still a lot of them on the road. And this had lost the seal at some point, so it released all of its oil, its lubrication, into the brake assembly, and then it has collected dirt and gunk, and with time it's turned more into a grease than it has an oil. I'll see if I can pick some off of there. Pick some off the shoe too. So this, like I said, that at one time that was oil. Now it's grease and dirt and road grime. There's some more of it. So what happens on this, especially when it starts getting cooler, because this will just get more tacky, it will get on the magnet as this magnet's completely covered, and it will build up on the magnet and on the face of the back side of the face of the drum on the magnet surface here. And with cooler weather, it will become sticky. It will become really tacky. This can also be caused when we talk about using Easy Lube. You can check that video out in the description. If you overfill the brake drum full of grease, you can get grease on here from overfilling, improperly using Easy Lube, Bearing Buddy, any of those types of grease zerk style systems. You'll get grease in there, and when it starts to get cooler weather, it just becomes really gummy and really tacky. The viscosity of the grease gets really thick, and will actually, as it's rolling, will actually cause the magnet to engage. Even though it doesn't have any power, you can actually have the power disconnected on these trailers. It will cause the magnet to grab from the grease. Well, if that magnet grabs, it's pushing out that brake. And if it's in a situation where it's been grabbing due to tackiness or grease, it's not going to release. If you're moving forward down the road, and even if it's just a little bit of contact over time, you know, whether you're going 50 miles or maybe 500 miles, it is going to cause excessive heating. And again, once you cause excessive heating, if it keeps getting hot and getting hot, it could cause you to have a bearing failure and a hub loss. This is something we see very common. Some people don't worry about this. They'll pull this down. I've seen other shops pull this down, see all this, they'll stick a new seal in it, slap it back together. That's a no-no. Don't do that. This right here, even if you could get parts for this, which you can't, this is non-salvageable here. This is trash at this point. We would pull this off. You maybe could clean the magnet up, but there's so much lubrication ground into the brakes, it would be a replacement on this. You couldn't get parts if you wanted to. This axle will have to be upgraded. And that's what we're doing. We're upgrading this to a different brand that you can find more readily available. But we see this a lot during the summer. We see this a lot during the winter. We will see it during the summer, but really it's just when it gets tacky. But this is very common from over greasing through Easy Lube or any of the other greasable spindles. And it's also very common if you haven't taken care of your oil bath seals and you blowed one out and they just picked up all that dirt. So check this out. This is why it's important, in my opinion, to do a tear down. If you don't do a tear down, unless you have x-ray vision, you're not gonna be able to see this. You're not gonna get in there and see what you got going on. So that's why I'm a fan of tearing it down at least annually and checking that out. I know some guys, well, I've run mine for 5 or 10 or 15 years. Well, good for you, buckaroo. I'm not going to do that. I'm not that lucky. I guess that's why I'm not a gambler. I'm not going to rely on that. I'm going to put my eyeballs on it so it doesn't come off and, possibly injure somebody or tear up my property. So very common instances. So let's, I'm going to see if I can get out of the floor, and then we're going to cover a couple other instances. So talking about lubrication loss, whether that be overgreasing, a seal that's worn out, something else can cause that lubrication to be contaminated in there is improper seal installation or a cheap seal installation. Anything that we do oil bath, we're going to run a national seal on. It's a great quality seal in my opinion. I don't even run the factory supplied seals, no matter what brand it is. I don't care if it's Dexter, Lippert, it doesn't matter to me. If we're running oil, we're running national. That's not to say we won't ever have a national seal that has an issue, but I don't have issues with those. Years ago, I'm not going to name the manufacturer because they may get their little feelings hurt, because I know they do watch some of these videos. You can go do your own research. It's been probably 12, 13 years ago, they started having an issue with the seal that they were using on brand new, especially 10K tandem dual axles. They were having lubrication loss while the trailers were being transported from the manufacturer to their end locations for sale. They were losing the lubrication. It was making it gummy inside there, and it was actually causing wheel lockup and smoking the brakes, even if the brakes weren't being used during transport. So there was a lot of dealers back in those days that were receiving a new trailer that already had a braking issue. You could even sometimes hardly pull them around the parking lot with a forklift with no brakes hooked up, because the brakes were so locked up from the crappy seal they were using. Like I said, again, I'm not going to say exactly who that is. You can find that out on your own. It's not too hard if you use the old interwebs and the Googler. That has been corrected. They took care of it at that time. If they wouldn't have taken care of it, I would have no problem naming them today. But they did take care of that. They didn't design the seal, but that's who supplied it. They realized it fast, paid you to do a warranty on it, put new seals in it, and haven't had that trouble since. Some of those seals are still available. We see them from time to time. We don't use them. If if you want to use a Timken, use a Timken. If you want to use a National, use National. Just have good luck with the National. We're not sponsored by National in no means. We just install a lot of these, and so I can say that they're tried and true and they work. So improper seal installation or crappy seal installation can cause to severe and or catastrophic brake drag. So let's move on to one of the more rare scenarios that we see and talk about that. So if you see this pretty bluing on here, that is not normal. If you pull your brake drum down and you see that, something is wrong or has been wrong. Another indication, you can see it from the outside. You see this ashy looking color from where it burnt all the paint or powder coat, however these are coated, off, starting to get flaky on there. That is the indication that something is wrong. You've got some brake drag. This severe here is not from brake drag, but the issue here did cause brake drag. So this is a new install. This was not installed by the axle manufacturer, so I'm not going to name the axle manufacturer. It was not the axle manufacturer's fault. This was installed by someone else. Brought it in, we repaired it. What happened when this was installed, even though they're brand new, still got plenty of shoe left on it. The magnet's not burned up. It's close to being burned. Well, it's not burned up from a visual standpoint. We'll get to that here in a minute. But this was installed incorrectly, and the magnet was on all the time. So it was wired basically direct into the wrong circuit. So the magnet was running all the time when being pulled on the road. It wasn't pulled very far, but it did get hot. It got smoking hot. You can see where the face of this has turned blue and purple, so that means it had some heat going on. The problem was corrected. They figured out the problem due to this smoking. So that was found, that was corrected. And a lot of times that's all you got to do. A lot of times if it doesn't burn the magnet up, the shoes are okay. If you caught it quick, this is salvageable. Here is the rare issue. See this very rarely. If you've ever seen this, please leave a comment below. I like to see how many people out there has ever experienced this. What happened in this scenario, this magnet was energized for so long and become so hot, and then running down the road, it becomes semi-permanently magnetized. So when this trailer come in, it hadn't been hooked up or the brakes hadn't been used in probably 24 plus hours, maybe 48 hours actually, now I think of it. Brought it in, cut the wires to the brake magnet, and it was still energized. You could still put a, something light like a washer up to it, a small pocket screwdriver, small wrench, and it would hold it would hold that on there due to the magnet being semi-permanently magnetized. It is not that way this morning. It has since lost it. I wish we'd have got the video, been able to do the video a little earlier. You could see it. It is not magnetized any longer, but it was still magnetized after not being hooked up to any power source after 24 to 48 hours. So what happened there, once it becomes, even though the problem was corrected, once it becomes semi permanent on the magnet, it actually would engage just going on the highway, because that magnet is grabbing the face of this, it's doing its job. Now, it wasn't full force. It wasn't like it was running 12 bolts to it. The bluing came from just the improper wiring and being permanently hooked up, but it was causing this to drag and pushing the brake shoes out just enough to have brake drag and the drum not wanting to roll freely. And in long-term scenario going down the road, it could cause issue for you. It could have boiled the grease out. If it had grease in there, they got in there, that could make it more sticky. So if you run into an issue this way, you need to check that out. If you've overheated that magnet, if you've had it wired wrong. Another scenario on that, we'll see this sometimes from our transport drivers, the breakaway switch on the front of the trailer, they will pull that breakaway switch in order to lock the trailer up while they're unloading, or they'll pull that breakaway switch because they've had it ran through their loop and they don't want to put a hook on it. Don't do that. If you're a transport driver, don't do that. That is not made to pull out, to lock the brakes up. That's not made to pull out to help you in any way. You should never pull that out. That should never be pulled out. And if you want to argue me on that, I don't care. It's dumb to do that, and it can cause you big time problems. It can cause failure here, but it can also cause failure in the switch. That breakaway switch is only used if you're in an accident, worst case scenario. That's when it comes into play. If you leave your trailers parked out in the pasture and your cows come over there and they're like everybody else's cows, they like to chew on plastic, or if you have goats, for whatever reason, many times they will pull that breakaway switch out and chew on it. And if your battery is hot on your breakaway system, it will supply full 12-volt power to that magnet and overheat it, and it could cause this same scenario. So if you go out there in the pasture and you see that that's been taken out, once you plug it back in, before you head a long trip loaded, you need to tow that vehicle. You need to make sure you don't have any brake drag. Tow it locally, get out and check the heat, make sure you're not having a ton of heat transfer through the drum and through the wheel, so you don't get a big load on there and cause issue. But a shorted out magnet can cause it to become semi-permanently magnetized, and it's going to cause brake drag, premature wear, lubrication loss, all kinds of issues can cause the shoe to come loose. If you look on this one, even though this was new, I don't know, can you see that crack in there? So it got hot enough to crack the shoe on that. So if you've had that issue, sometimes even though you correct it, even though, hey, I made a mistake, I wired it up wrong, you may still have to do a replacement on this. It may have damaged the components in such a manner that they're not safe to use. So don't do it. Just go buy some new ones. Learn from your mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I don't care how long you've been doing it, you're going to mess up at some point, but learn from it, correct it, and get it right. So make sure this season, maybe you're already cool where you're at, make sure you don't have any brake drag. It's really easy to spot when it's cold outside and you go up and you put your hand near that wheel and it's very hot. You can feel a ton of heat come off there. You may have some excessive brake drag on there. Get that corrected before it's too late. Leave us some comments below. We love the comments. We like the video ideas you're giving. Click to subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Again, leave us the video ideas. Check the description below. We'll leave some parts in here, some brake assemblies. We'll leave you some links to some brake adjusting videos and some other videos related to this, just to help you out so you don't have the same issue. Or if you do have the same issue, you can better recognize it and get it corrected in a timely fashion. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.